Have you ever stopped to think that you might be throwing pure liquid gold right into your kitchen trash can every single day? We all chop up onions for our meals, and without a second thought, we toss the green tops, the roots, and those dry, papery skins straight into the garbage. But what if I told you that those exact scraps hold the secret to the most powerful, completely free plant treatment you will ever use? Today, we are diving into a gardening hack that will completely change the way you care for your plants. We are going to show you how to turn useless onion leaves into a highly effective natural insecticide that wipes out pests while simultaneously acting as a supercharged fertilizer to make your crops grow incredibly fast. I promise you, by the end of this video, you will never look at an onion the same way again. In fact, you will probably be asking your neighbors for their leftover onion scraps. Are you currently spending your hard-earned money on chemical sprays? Or do you prefer natural remedies for your garden? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right now, because this trick is about to spark a serious debate. To truly understand why this method works, we need to take a quick look back at traditional farming history. Long before massive chemical companies existed, our ancestors had to rely on nature to protect their crops. They practiced something called companion planting. Farmers quickly noticed that whenever they planted onions next to delicate vegetables like tomatoes or leafy greens, those vegetables rarely got attacked by bugs. The pests simply stayed away. The secret lies in the incredible evolutionary defense system of the allium family, which includes onions, garlic, and leeks. Over thousands of years, these plants developed intense sulfur-based compounds designed specifically to repel hungry insects and grazing animals. While modern agriculture shifted towards synthetic, laboratory-made pesticides in the 20th century, organic gardeners have quietly preserved this ancient knowledge. Today, we are not just planting onions next to our crops. We are taking the most potent parts of the plant, the leaves and the skins, and extracting those ancient defensive compounds to create a targeted, fast-acting treatment that works on almost any plant in your home or garden. Let us start by looking right inside your kitchen trash can. If you are like most people, after you chop up an onion for dinner, the papery skins, the green tops, and the roots go straight into the garbage. But what if I told you that you are throwing away a premium, highly effective plant treatment? It is completely true. For years, gardening companies have sold us expensive, chemical-filled bottles to spray on our beloved plants. We buy them because we want our tomatoes to grow big and our houseplants to stay green. But nature has already provided a solution, and it is sitting right on your cutting board. The outer layers and leaves of onions contain a concentrated amount of defensive compounds. The plant developed these compounds over thousands of years to protect itself from being eaten by bugs in the wild. When we throw these parts away, we are wasting a natural resource that is incredibly valuable. This is not just a silly internet myth. It is a scientifically backed method used by organic farmers around the world. By saving this kitchen scrap, you are taking the first step toward a healthier, more vibrant garden. You are also keeping waste out of the landfill, which is a wonderful bonus. So, the next time you cook, keep a small bowl on the counter to collect those onion scraps. You will soon realize that this simple habit is about to revolutionize the way you care for your plants forever. Now you might be wondering what exactly makes onion leaves so incredibly powerful. The secret lies in a specific group of chemicals called sulfur compounds. If you have ever cried while chopping an onion, you have already experienced the power of these sulfur compounds firsthand. When the cells of the onion are crushed or cut, they release a gas that irritates our eyes. Well, imagine what that same intense compound does to a tiny, fragile insect. To pests like aphids or spider mites, the sulfur acts as an overwhelming toxic barrier. It messes with their sensory organs, making it impossible for them to locate the plant. And if they do manage to take a bite, it severely disrupts their digestive system. But here is the truly amazing part about sulfur. While it is incredibly harsh and repellent to destructive pests, it is actually a vital macronutrient for the plants themselves. Plants use sulfur to create important enzymes and proteins that help them grow strong stems and lush green leaves. So, by using an onion leaf extraction, you are performing a miraculous double duty. You are creating an invisible shield against bugs while simultaneously feeding your plant the exact building blocks it needs to thrive. It is a perfect harmony of defense and nourishment. Let us talk about another secret weapon hidden deep inside those onion skins and leaves. It is a powerful antioxidant called quercetin. You might have actually heard of quercetin being sold as a fancy, expensive health supplement for humans to boost immunity. Well, it turns out that plants need a strong immune system just as much as we do. When plants are stressed by things like extreme heat, lack of water, or an active bug infestation, they produce harmful free radicals that damage their own cells. The high levels of quercetin found in onion leaves act as a soothing medicine for your stressed plants. When you apply onion water to the soil or spray it on the leaves, the quercetin goes to work neutralizing those damaging free radicals. It literally helps the plant heal itself from the inside out. This is why you will often see a wilting, sad-looking houseplant suddenly perk up and look vibrant just a few days after receiving an onion water treatment. It is not magic, it is just excellent plant medicine. By utilizing this natural antioxidant, you are giving your garden a level of care that money simply cannot buy. It is completely free, totally natural, and highly effective. So, how exactly does this act as a natural pest repellent in the real world? Let us paint a picture. Imagine a swarm of aphids floating through the air, looking for a juicy, sweet rose bush or a tender tomato plant to destroy. Insects rely heavily on their sense of smell to find food. When you spray your plants with water infused with onion leaves, you completely mask the natural, sweet scent of the plant. Instead of smelling a delicious meal, the pests are hit with a wall of intense, confusing onion odor. To them, it smells like a dangerous environment, so they simply turn around and fly away. This is a crucial concept to understand. Chemical pesticides work by poisoning the bug after it has already landed on your plant and started eating. Onion spray works proactively. It acts as an invisibility cloak, hiding your plants from pests before the damage even begins. And for the stubborn bugs that do decide to land, the physical residue left on the leaves makes the surface incredibly bitter and unappetizing. It forces them to abandon ship and look for an easier target. You are effectively putting up a massive, invisible stop sign in your garden. Let us get specific about the exact types of pests this method will eradicate from your life. The absolute #1 enemy that onion water destroys is the dreaded aphid. Aphids reproduce at a terrifying rate and can suck the life out of a plant in a matter of days. But they have very soft bodies, making them extremely susceptible to the sulfur in onion leaves. The spray breaks down their protective outer layer, causing them to dry out and perish quickly. Another major target is the spider mite. These microscopic terrors weave tiny webs on your indoor houseplants and turn the leaves yellow and crispy. Spider mites hate moisture, and they absolutely despise the chemical makeup of onions. A thorough spraying will wipe out an entire colony. Finally, we have to talk about fungus gnats. These are those annoying little black flies that buzz around your face when you water your indoor plants. They lay their eggs in the wet soil, and their larvae eat the roots of your plants. By pouring our onion mixture directly into the soil, we create an environment that is totally toxic to the gnat larvae, breaking their life cycle completely without using any harsh chemicals in your home. But pest control is only half of this incredible story. We also promised you a fertilizer that makes crops grow fast, and the science here is undeniable. Aside from sulfur, onion leaves and skins are absolutely loaded with essential minerals, specifically potassium, calcium, and iron. Let us break down why your plants are begging for these nutrients. Potassium is often called the quality nutrient. It regulates the opening and closing of the tiny pores on plant leaves, which controls how the plant breathes and retains water. A plant with enough potassium is highly resistant to drought and disease. Calcium is the structural builder. It strengthens the cell walls of the plant. Think of it like the bones in a human body. When you give a tomato plant calcium from onion skins, you prevent diseases like blossom end rot, ensuring your fruits grow large and healthy. Finally, iron is essential for creating chlorophyll, the green pigment that allows the plant to absorb sunlight and create energy. Without iron, leaves turn pale and yellow. When you steep onion leaves in water, all of these vital minerals leach out into the liquid, creating a perfectly balanced organic liquid fertilizer that is instantly absorbed by the plant roots. It is very important to compare this natural method to the store-bought chemical pesticides you might currently have in your garage. When you go to a garden center, you are greeted by shelves of brightly colored bottles promising instant death to bugs. What they do not proudly advertise on the front label is the collateral damage those chemicals cause. Synthetic insecticides are usually broad-spectrum killers. That means when you spray them on your flowers, you are not just killing the bad aphids, you are also killing the wonderful bees, the beautiful butterflies, and the helpful ladybugs that actually eat the bad pests. You are effectively destroying the natural ecosystem of your garden. Furthermore, over time, insects adapt and become immune to these chemical formulas, forcing you to buy stronger, more toxic products every year. Onion leaf spray works totally differently. It targets the pests that actively try to eat the plant, while generally leaving hard-shelled beneficial insects like adult ladybugs alone. Because it is a natural repellent rather than a synthetic neurotoxin, bugs never build an immunity to it. You are working in harmony with nature rather than declaring a toxic war against it. The danger of chemical pesticides becomes even more terrifying when we talk about indoor houseplants and edible gardens. Think about the environment inside your living room. When you spray a synthetic bug killer on your indoor monstera or peace lily, those chemical particles float through the air. They settle on your furniture, your carpets, and get breathed in by your children and your pets. It is a completely unnecessary risk just to cure a few bugs on a plant. The same logic applies to the food you grow. If you are taking the time to grow your own tomatoes, cucumbers, or herbs, the last thing you want to do is cover them in poison right before you harvest them for a family salad. The beauty of the onion leaf method is its absolute safety. It is made from food. If you accidentally get some on your hands, you just wash it off. If your dog licks a leaf that has been sprayed with onion water, there is absolutely zero danger. You gain total peace of mind knowing that your home environment remains pure and uncontaminated, while your plants get the ultimate protection they deserve. It is the definition of a win-win situation. Now that you understand the incredible science and benefits, let us get into the practical steps. How do you actually get started? The very first step is proper collection and storage. From now on, whenever you prepare a meal, do not throw any part of the onion away. The dry, papery brown, red, or yellow outer skins are fantastic. The green, leafy tops of sprouting onions are excellent. Even the hairy root ends contain valuable nutrients. You want to collect these pieces in a container. Because they are organic matter, You need to store them properly so they do not get moldy before you have enough to use. The best method is to keep an open paper bag or a breathable mesh basket in a dry corner of your kitchen or pantry. Allow the scraps to dry out completely. If you live in a very humid climate, you can store your onion scraps in a container in the freezer. Simply toss them in every time you cook. You want to collect a good amount, roughly 2 large handfuls of tightly packed skins and leaves before you make your first batch of natural spray. This collection process quickly becomes a satisfying habit. Let us talk about recipe number 1. This is the quick soak method, designed for when you need a gentle fertilizer and pest repellent right away, without any complicated cooking. Take your 2 large handfuls of collected onion leaves and skins and place them into a large glass jar. A mason jar works perfectly for this. Next, pour about 1 liter of room-temperature water over the scraps. You want to push the leaves down so they are completely submerged in the water. Put a lid on the jar and place it in a cool, dark place, like inside a kitchen cabinet. Now, all you have to do is wait. You need to let this mixture sit for exactly 24 hours. During this time, the water will slowly pull the sulfur, potassium, and quercetin out of the onion matter. When you come back the next day, you will notice the water has changed color. It will look like a rich golden tea, or a deep purple liquid if you used red onions. This means the extraction was successful. This quick soak method is incredibly gentle, making it absolutely perfect for delicate indoor houseplants that might be sensitive to stronger treatments. If you are dealing with a severe pest infestation outdoors, or you want a much stronger nutrient boost, you need to use recipe number 2. This is the boiling method, and it creates a highly concentrated extraction. Take the same amount of onion leaves and put them into a cooking pot. Add 1 liter of water and put the pot on your stove. Turn the heat up and bring the water to a rolling boil. As soon as it boils, turn the heat down to low, put a lid on the pot, and let it simmer gently for about 15 to 20 minutes. The heat acts as a catalyst, rapidly breaking down the tough cell walls of the onion leaves and forcing every last drop of mineral content and sulfur into the water. After simmering, turn off the heat and leave the pot sitting on the stove with the lid on until it cools down completely to room temperature. This step is crucial. Never pour hot liquid on your plants, as it will instantly shock and kill the roots. This boiled mixture will be much darker and have a much stronger scent than the cold soak method. It is your heavy-duty weapon against stubborn garden pests. For the truly advanced organic gardeners, there is a third recipe that takes things to a whole new level. This is the fermentation method. Fermenting onion leaves not only extracts the nutrients, but it also creates beneficial bacteria, adding a probiotic boost to your soil. To do this, place your onion scraps in a bucket and cover them with water, but this time, leave the bucket outside in a warm, shaded spot for about 3 to 5 days. Stir the mixture once a day with a stick. You will start to see bubbles forming on the surface, which means the fermentation process is active. The good bacteria are breaking down the organic matter even further, making the nutrients instantly bioavailable to the plant roots. I must warn you, this method will produce a rather strong, funky smell, which is why it is best done outdoors. But the results are absolutely phenomenal. When you feed this fermented onion tea to heavy-feeding crops like tomatoes, peppers, or pumpkins, they will experience an explosive surge in growth. It creates an incredibly rich, living soil ecosystem that chemical fertilizers simply cannot replicate. Once you have chosen your recipe and created your onion water, the next crucial step is learning how to properly strain and dilute the mixture. You cannot just dump the jar, leaves and all, onto your plants. You need to separate the liquid from the solid matter. Pour the mixture through a fine mesh kitchen strainer or a piece of cheesecloth into a clean container. You want the liquid to be as clear as possible, especially if you plan to put it into a spray bottle, because little pieces of onion skin will easily clog the spray nozzle. Now, let us talk about dilution. If you used the gentle 24-hour cold soak method, you can generally use that liquid directly without diluting it. However, if you used the boiling method, and especially if you used the fermentation method, the liquid is highly concentrated. You must dilute it by mixing 1 part of your onion tea with 4 parts of regular clean water. If you apply a concentrated hot extraction directly, the intense level of minerals could potentially cause nutrient burn on the delicate tips of the plant roots. Always play it safe and dilute your strong mixtures. Now we are ready for application. There are 2 main ways to use this magical liquid. The first method is soil drenching. This is exactly what it sounds like. You use your diluted onion water exactly as you would regular water when watering your plants. Pour it directly onto the soil at the base of the plant until the soil is thoroughly saturated. This method has 2 massive benefits. First, it delivers that heavy dose of potassium, calcium, and iron directly to the root zone where the plant can drink it up immediately. You will notice greener leaves and faster growth within a week. Second, soil drenching is the ultimate cure for fungus gnats and root aphids. The sulfur compounds soak into the soil, creating a hostile environment for any pests living under the dirt. The larvae cannot survive the high sulfur content, and the adult gnats will refuse to lay new eggs in the treated soil. For regular feeding and preventative pest control, doing a soil drench once every 2 weeks is the perfect schedule to keep your plants happy, healthy, and pest-free. The second application method is creating a foliar spray. This is how you battle the pests that live on the leaves and stems of your plants, like aphids, spider mites, and whiteflies. Take your carefully strained and diluted onion water and pour it into a clean spray bottle. When you spray the plant, you must be incredibly thorough. Do not just lightly mist the top of the plant. You need to spray the undersides of the leaves. The undersides are the hiding spots where 90% of pests lay their eggs and build their colonies. Spray the stems, the joints where the leaves meet the stem, and the tops of the leaves until the plant is dripping wet. The sulfur and quercetin will coat the plant, suffocating any active bugs and leaving behind that invisible, bitter shield we talked about earlier. If you have an active, severe infestation, you should spray the plant thoroughly once every 3 days until the bugs are completely gone. After the problem is solved, you can reduce the spraying to once a month as a simple preventative measure to ensure they never come back. Knowing when to apply this treatment is almost as important as how you apply it. Timing is everything in gardening. You must never spray this onion water on your plants during the hottest part of the day when the sun is beating down on them. The water droplets act like tiny magnifying glasses, and the intense sun will literally burn the leaves, causing permanent brown scorch marks. The absolute best time to apply your foliar spray is early in the evening, just as the sun is starting to go down. This timing is perfect for several reasons. First, the plant has all night to absorb the liquid without the risk of sun damage. Second, many garden pests are nocturnal, meaning they come out to feed at night. By spraying in the evening, you are putting up a fresh, potent barrier right before the bugs wake up for dinner. For indoor plants, timing is slightly less critical since they are not in direct, intense sunlight, but it is still best to spray them in the evening or early morning. Consistency in your timing will yield the best possible results. At this point, you might be hesitating. Let us address the elephant in the room and bust a major myth. You are probably thinking, if I spray onion water all over my living room, is my house going to smell like a fast food restaurant? The answer is a resounding no. It is true that when you first brew the mixture and right when you spray it out of the bottle, there will be a distinct, earthy onion scent. However, this smell dissipates remarkably quickly. Once the water dries on the leaves of your plant, which usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes, the smell vanishes completely to the human nose. You will not be able to smell it at all. But remember, insects have a sense of smell that is thousands of times more sensitive than ours. While your living room will smell fresh and clean to you and your guests, the microscopic residue left on the plant will continue to scream danger to any bug that tries to approach. So do not let the fear of a lingering odor stop you from using this incredible natural method. Your house will not stink, but your pest problems will disappear. To prove how effective this is, let us look at a real-world scenario. Imagine you have a beautiful, expensive monstera plant sitting in your bedroom. One day, you notice the big tropical leaves are starting to look pale, yellow, and slightly droopy. Upon closer inspection, you see tiny microscopic webs near the stems. You have spider mites. Left untreated, that plant could die in weeks. Instead of panicking and buying a $20 bottle of toxic chemicals, you go to your kitchen. You take the skins from the onions you used for dinner last night, boil them in water, let it cool, and strain it. You thoroughly spray the leaves of your monstera and give the soil a good drench. Within 2 days, the spider mites are completely eradicated because they cannot survive the sulfur coating. But even better, a week later, you notice the pale leaves turning a deep, rich green again. A new leaf even starts to unroll. The calcium and potassium in the onion water provided an emergency nutrient boost that helped the plant recover from the stress of the attack. You saved your expensive plant using literal garbage. If you want to create an absolute powerhouse treatment, you can easily combine onion leaves with other kitchen scraps to make a super mix. The ultimate combination is adding garlic skins and crushed eggshells to your onion steep. Garlic belongs to the same family as onions, but contains an even more potent sulfur compound called allicin. By mixing onion and garlic skins together in your boiling pot, you create a pest repellent that is virtually impenetrable. Even the most stubborn, chemical-resistant bugs will flee from it. Now, what about the eggshells? Eggshells are made of nearly pure calcium carbonate. By crushing them up and adding them to your onion mixture as it steeps, you are massively supercharging the fertilizer aspect of the tea. The resulting liquid is the ultimate plant elixir. It provides iron and potassium from the onions, extreme pest defense from the garlic, and a massive structural calcium boost from the eggshells. This supermix is especially miraculous for outdoor vegetable gardens, guaranteeing you will grow the largest, healthiest, bug-free tomatoes and peppers in your entire neighborhood, all for zero cost. Beyond just saving your plants and keeping extra money in your wallet, adopting this method has a profound environmental impact. Every time you throw organic matter like onion skins into a plastic garbage bag, it gets sent to a landfill. Trapped without oxygen, that organic matter decomposes poorly and releases methane, a greenhouse gas that is incredibly harmful to our atmosphere. By simply saving those scraps and using them in your garden, you are actively participating in the zero-waste movement. You are closing the loop of nature, turning what grew in the earth back into food for the earth. You are also significantly reducing the demand for commercially produced chemical fertilizers and pesticides, which require massive amounts of fossil fuels to manufacture and transport. It may seem like a small, insignificant act to save a handful of papery onion skins on your kitchen counter, but it is a powerful step toward a more sustainable lifestyle. You become a smarter gardener, a better steward of the environment, and your plants will reward you with explosive, vibrant growth. So here is the ultimate plot twist of your gardening journey. The most powerful, effective tools for making your garden thrive do not come from a factory, and they do not cost a single penny. They have been sitting right on your kitchen cutting board this whole time. By simply saving your onion leaves and skins, you unlock an ancient, scientifically proven method to completely eradicate destructive pests like aphids and fungus gnats, all while delivering a massive boost of calcium, potassium, and antioxidants to your plants. You are replacing toxic, expensive chemicals with a perfectly safe, natural elixir that heals your plants from the inside out and protects your family's environment. The days of throwing away liquid gold are officially over. Thank you so much for watching and learning with us today. If this zero-cost gardening hack blew your mind, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel for more amazing natural plant care secrets, and share this video with a friend who loves plants. Now, I want to hear from you. Which struggling plant in your home or garden are you going to rescue first using this miraculous onion water? Drop your answers in the comments below.